Hello and welcome to the Cardboard Bunker. My name is Pieburn and today we are playing Space Engineers. We're back in the Janus. You just saw me click back in here. So today's goal is to build this up at least to that level and start building around the other side of the bridge. I've placed a huge amount of armor plating and blast door blocks. I've done all of this side. I've started building out the sections to split the armor and put the blocks. I can't remember what I started calling them. Basically like the braces between the blast door blocks. If I come down here, you can see we've started placing in all of the internal thrusters all the way to the back here, and this is the start of the thruster bank, this whole section here. So this is as far back as the internals will go. You can see we started placing in all the armor in there. That's pretty much full most of the way down. We've got all the refineries in. They're all piped up and ready to go. We started piping them up to the top. Inside this gap here we'll also add some more piping, make sure everything's connected and redundant. The piping will also come in and down here. Now I did put a sorting block at the end of those two refineries, but because all of this is connected here, it's not going to make any difference really. We'd have to have it on a completely isolated cell for that to work 100%. But I think with Izzy's I can change that to manual and just put only uranium in there. Or I can have a sorter block pull just uranium in there. But we don't actually need a lot at the moment, and having that extra processing power will be good, especially when I extend it all the way across here. So each one of those conveyor junctions there is another refinery, or two refineries I should say. So that should be another 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 refineries there, and I'm going to do the same on this side here. I just haven't started piping them in yet. I've also placed a lot of the thrusters and everything we need to keep this thing stable on this side. I haven't got a gyroscope in yet, but that will probably be placed one underneath there and another one inside. And we've managed to do all the internal skin, and then we've got the starter rib there, the support rib. Of course I'm still deciding on exactly how to do the ribs, but that's okay. With the bar system it's quite easy just to remove a few blocks here and there and then start adding some more, but we can do all that later. I've still got to place a lot of blast door blocks inside the top armor there, and we started bringing everything across here. This is pretty much the same as it was before. Actually, another thing I might want to do today is start defining the roof for the hangar, because I've noticed that I've been finding it difficult finding out exactly when to stop. But yeah, I might get that in as well today. The other big project I wanted to start, but I don't think I'm quite ready yet, is the vertical launch tubes. I saw a video from Last Stand Gamers, and he did a video on a destroyer that basically has the same sort of technology that I want, but on a much smaller scale. So I'm thinking about doing a quick video where I look at that and see how he's done it, and then see if I can use the same sort of theology on these larger ones, because these ones are meant to be closer to a cruise missile than just, you know, a mild torpedo. Being vertically launched will make it interesting for when we are, say, in motion. I think I'm going to pretty much have to stop every single time, but I don't think that will be much of a problem. To explain some of the things that I'll do off camera over the next few weeks, while I'm waiting for things to catch up, such as the metal plates, which is always missing obviously, I'll start replicating this engine pattern all the way down the side. Now it is a bit exposed here, but I'm hoping that I will actually be able to build. I'll hop out for this and use the pointing welder. Good on you, Pam. Pam's been mining away at the iron deposit on the neighbouring asteroid here. Just up there. Where is she? There she is, and the hole's just up there somewhere. Anyway, back to where I was going. I'm a bit exposed here with these thrusters at the top, so I'm very tempted to do something very similar down here. Although it's a lot less thrusters, it's still just as exposed. Oh, actually, I take that back. I might use this tunnel on both sides to give us some more braking and forward thrust, because I feel like that's going to be the biggest thing that we need, is braking thrust. I have a feeling once we get going, this thing's going to be nearly impossible to stop. I don't want to start looking at its weight yet until we are finally ready to detach from the base itself. So currently this is all part of one station. I'll be doing that once we've built these side tubes with all the thrusters in them. They will be my stabilizing thrust and internal thrust. Well, they are internal thrust, and they will be my stabilizing thrust. English. I swear I speak it naturally all the time. Anyway, let's get back into this little thing. My little turtle. Okay, actually no, I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover there. So yeah, there's a lot of placing of blocks. I've spent most of today doing that. Oh, actually no, one little thing. Let's fly up here. Make sure Pam's still just... Oh, we'll have a look at Pam's hole. That sounded worse than it should have, I apologise. This is where Pam has been mining. Now she started in the centre. Oh. I've got to remember this thing doesn't stop as well as I would like. Anyway, there's Pam digging a little heart out. She's not actually digging anything, but if you look closely, actually I'll jump out. What she does is she follows the line in, moves very slowly with the drills on, slowly drills all the way in, and she's just coming down to get this tiny little knoblet here, which is quite funny, but that's how the programming works. So it goes up to this point, then she'll reverse back at the same speed with the drills on, all the way back out to the starting point, and then clock into the next row wherever that is. You can see we've already been in here with the Cookie Monster just to get it all kick-started. But Pam's bringing back so much stone, and I want her to keep bringing back stone because, like, sometimes you find these cool little nuggets up here. So there's obviously some sort of iron deposit back here somewhere. There we go. So we know we've got iron right in the core of this thing too, which is good. We need so much iron. Yeah, I've been kind of half relying on Pam to bring back stone and using so many refineries to refine as much iron and nickel and silicon as we need. But we don't need that much silicon actually. Not at this stage. But what I was so excited to show you before, now that Pam's going, it's always good to hold down Alt and move your camera around once you've aligned yourself with a connector in a small ship. Let's jump out of this one. Put that away. This is the other thing that I was very excited about. I finally got this figured all out today. Turn off the light so we can see it better. Take the HUD off. There we go. So this is our ore container, and it just shows how much we've got. So ice, we've got 10 million ice, and we're filling up a lot of hydrogen tanks at the moment. Iron ore, that's still unprocessed, we've got 1.8 million. We're very low on, we have no nickel ore, no magnesium ore. Platinum ore we've got a fair chunk of. Scrap obviously 0 because we've got that as a priority. We've got 1.4 million silver ore. I just went on a big run for that. I think I've got one more silver deposit to go, and we've got 0 uranium ore. But down here is our ingots, and as you can see, we've got 20 million iron ingots. We're not going to run out of iron anytime soon. Gold we're pretty short on, so I'm going to have to do a gold run probably between episodes. And uranium we've got 57,000. So even though we've got a lot, we still don't have as much as I would like. And stone, we've got 6.9 million stone. Yeesh. This is our auto crafting list right here, and it's currently going, Izzy's currently going crazy crafting all of that. The ATM from ages ago, and the stairwell that goes into nowhere, because I had other plans for in here, but I just think I've given up on trying to build on this base anymore. There's too much to do at the Janus itself. So I'm going to bring this as a mobile refueling station. I've still got a lot of ideas, but I'm not 100% sure exactly how I want to do this corner here and how it all transitions in. So I think for now I'll stick with the part I would be happy with, and that's turning this into well, the raised bit that it's meant to be. It's purely aesthetic. Later on I'll probably break that wall out and we can turn this into, say, a ready room or something like that. Bring some stairs in from the observation deck, but the actual CNC will be lower down, a bit further into the Janus itself. I've got a few spots ready to go for that, but for now let's get into building this out. Yeah, so you would come through here, I put a door in, you come through here and this would be a ready room. So we might want to put some windows down here as well. If that's the roof, that's the button I want to press. If that's the roof, this is the ceiling here. We make this all solid so that we've got some protection for the people underneath, even if it isn't as heavy as all of that. It does make a prime target, but I'm hoping to put a bit more of a decoy down here. So all of these, I'm not too sure if I mentioned it when I put them in. All of these are temporary, and eventually I will have one, if not two, large ship turrets, controllable turrets, and they will have rocket launchers, and they will be used at taking out any sort of large ship that gets in too close. They're kind of a last defense, and then we'll have Gatling turrets down the side to sort of sway off fighters and that sort of thing. But getting back to this, as I get distracted again. These corner ones are my nemesis when it comes to flipping the block around. I honestly have so much trouble doing it. I kind of like the idea of a hot pink because it's not something I'd naturally put on a ship. So it makes sense to me to use that as my deletion color. Never forget to take it back to the same color, otherwise you start placing blocks. It's going to happen again, isn't it? You're going to be placing blocks, and next thing you know, whoosh, it's all gone. Everything that you had just spent however long working on, gone in a second. I'm going to get rid of these for now. Go back to putting down the heavy armor. I'm just not going to say the word anymore, just in case. It's funny actually because my son's been teasing me about the Crocs all week. Came down for the weekend, and yeah, I haven't heard. Haven't heard the end of it. Just make sure you put on your Crocs, Dad. I think I'm going to have to decide on exactly how I want these to come into the actual shape itself. Like, how do I want them to? Do I want to just do this and get them to blend in? There's the word I was looking for. Again, I promise I do talk for a living. Now I should be able to replicate that on the other side, but before I do that we need to prepare. That's a straight up block, so we could use that as an exit. Do we have space to make this a proper? No, don't think we have space to make this a proper airlock. Although if we made this the wall, obviously greatly reducing the size of the room, the ready room. I suppose we've got a bonus effect here of extra armor. Now we have space to put in a proper airlock, so we can pipe this in properly now. Do I have any on me? We can do that. Okay, good enough for now. And then we can use this whole top area for piping purposes. So I quite like that idea. So if we have piping coming across through the middle here, just at the point of my welder here, through to the middle, then we can have a vent coming down, and then we can still keep the roof all fairly, so like reinforce it with blocks like that, and still have a fairly large room. We could have a dual airlock on both sides. Don't mind that shape at all. So just off camera, so you're not seeing me place a million blocks, and so that there's not 5 hours worth of footage to edit, I'll just build this other side to exactly the same specifications. I won't do any more design on the top here. I may do some fiddling, but I'll make sure that the bar system's off, and then I will undo everything that I've actually done already, because I really want you guys to be here for the design and the shape of the thing. Placing 1 billion blocks, like there's literally thousands upon thousands of heavy armor blocks. Just placing this entire row here, I reckon each row is maybe 30 to 40 seconds, going from the pre-built one here all the way back, and then back again and back again and back again. 300 to 350 blocks before you have to reload. It's quite fun. Just put on some music or chuck on something on the TV and have it playing in the background while you play. It's generally why I don't record when I'm doing that sort of stuff, because I don't want you guys to have, you know, too much noise in the background. Yes. So we'll go back down under here. I think I've got enough blocks to be able to start doing the hangar, the roof of the hangar. It's my other goal for today. Now, as you can see, we've got hydrogen coming all the way up, and that's on purpose. So all of these will be piped in again. I wanted to have as much hydrogen as possible, and wanted to make sure that they were all able to be filled fairly quickly. So I've still got to place in all of the junctions and all the other oxygen tanks and oxygen generators, but I wanted to start building in the roof of this, so I would know how much space I would have above in this section here, which I want to make my living quarters just above the hangar. Now I've already got this thing here as kind of a marker, but I need to make sure that I don't go too high, because we need to be able to have a space to stay, to live. You know, you can't have a ship this big with only one dude who sits in the control room all day. Maybe has holograms, I don't know. So what I was thinking of doing is, because eventually this won't hold the Cookie Monster, it'll hold the mini Janus, which will be a small small frigate-sized ship. The whole point of that being that I can land it on planets, and if I need to, I can scurry away and distract enemies. The Janus should be able to take care of pretty much anything that comes nearby, but you know, it's always better to have extra. So I'll bring this up to here. That way it gives us the extra buffer we need, or starts to give us the extra buffer we need for between the hydrogen tanks and the cockpit itself. Okay. So as you can see, that this piping will be part of the barrier between. But what we can start to do is, if we grab these slopes, start to bring it out, can then split it every couple just to give it a bit of dynamic movement. Right, then we need to place just some normal blocks. Alright, so you can see we're starting to get a bit of a shape here. Now we want to go back to the slopes again. These ones here shouldn't be square, they should be slopes again. Even though it won't attach to the pipe, it'll attach to the side. It'll be a bit of a weak point, but I think if a fighter gets that close to my ship, that it can do serious damage through that breach hole, through a breach in that part of the armor, then I kind of deserve to get hit. It means I haven't made the defenses enough to be able to hold it off. Now I think the sim speed for this is going to be ridiculous as it is. And once I get to a stage where this is essentially flyable, I think what we'll do is we'll jump into a whole new world, a whole new system, and then start again. I know I've sort of started in this system. I really don't think that I need to hold myself to this system. It's cool to have a lot of stuff like that, but I don't think my computer has the processing power to be able to handle the challenges of having a ship this big, plus all the other stuff going on. So I'll just flip around and I'll grab out the pointy welder again. This is the same principle for doing what's the word I'm looking for here? Ribbing. This is the same principle as if you're doing the ribbing on the outside of the ship. You can just imagine this on the outside. You've just got it staggered by one block, one goes back. I haven't actually put it here, but one would go back here, and then you just keep it going. One after the other. Try and keep them evenly spaced. It'll look better from a distance. It should give you just a nice sheen, but if you do it right, it just makes your ship look so much better. And it's a little thing, a wee little thing. So I've got it set for 250,000 plates, so I'm hoping with everything else it does, it should just keep going until it reaches that mark. Now that we've got the top marked, I've drawn a center line down here. This means I know the distances I need to keep clear of for the living quarters and all of that jazz. So I need to make sure that I have enough space. So something like this will need to disappear. And now we'll have a bar system sticking out. But because all this will be heavy armor, actually I don't think we will have enough room, if I'm being totally honest. Because my plan was to slope this section here so that it sort of comes up to a point and then is square the rest of the way down. Still haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to do that, but it's time to experiment. I've still got a lot of stuff to build in here just to make sure that this is all sealed off, and then I need to figure out a walkway up from the bottom here. So I've kind of got one started, just to talk about it briefly. I took out 2 of the hydrogen tanks so that I could have space to walk down. So the whole point of this here is you walk down, you've got this little stairwell which can take you down further. So this takes you down to the top of the bottom armor. So this is the inner skin of the outside, just there. So this is all meant to be armored anyway. And as you can see, there's the Cookie Monster right in the middle there. If you come up this way, this takes you to the inner armor, and then we have this space here. So we still have a fair bit of space we can use. I will be blocking all of that off with some just some light armor blocks all the way across. But we've achieved something today. We've managed to get the start of the hangar roof going, and we've also designed or come across a design that I'm kind of happy with. I'm pretty happy with, for the neck essentially of the observation deck. So I'm pretty sure that this will be large enough to be able to put a decent number of LCDs. So I'll be able to put 3 up in there. If not, I might just add some more slopes and things like that in there, and then just have the LCDs in this section down here. I think that'll work well. I really don't want to have I really don't want to have... That's in the wrong spot. Or is it? Yes, it is. Let's fix that now before I forget. And I've distracted myself again. What was I talking about? Yeah, I really don't want to have this room just chock full of LCD screens that just do nothing or have pictures on them. So this 6 in the middle here should be enough to give us whatever. We'll put a projector in the middle as well. We'll have some tables and desks around to make it look a little bit more like a station. We can actually use this as like a semi-wartime ready room, command room. So basically where we have all of the controls for the different large ship turrets that we'll be having, the large ship turrets that we'll be installing down the back here and towards the front. So in front of this vertical launch in front of this vertical launch tube, we will have a couple of other large ship turrets, and then we'll have some forward shooting sort of semi-targeting, maybe even from the sides, some semi-targeting small ship torpedoes and rockets as well. We sort of want to have something that can take out small to mid-range ships, but we also want to have something that can take out like huge capital ships. We want to be able to take them out instantly. If we're defending ourselves, we don't want to leave anything for anyone else. We want to make sure it gets disappeared. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Look for me on the socials. I'm getting back into Twitch again soon, so if you're watching this in the far future, I'm probably live on Twitch right now. Please like, subscribe, share the video. I've still got the donations going for the RFS. Please feel free to donate to that cause. I'll probably keep that up for a little while for the foreseeable future. Thanks everyone for watching. Most importantly, everyone, have fun, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.